Notre Dame needs to stay independent at all costs. The 2025 college football playoff Notre Dame conundrum is going to change the game of college football forever. Now, it sucks that we've even gotten to this point where there are kids on Notre Dame's roster who have to sacrifice the last game that they will ever play of college football or sports for that reason just to prove a point to ESPN. And Notre Dame's going to get villainized for that. But when you look deeper into what's going on and what's happened and what got us to this point, Notre Dame has every right to do what they're doing right now. For the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Notre Dame has been drugged through the mud on why they shouldn't be playing for a national championship and why Alabama should be in over them and why Miami should be over them or why BYU should be over them. And then at the last second, you're going to bait and switch them out and then expect them to play in a consolation prize game against BYU that ESPN's going to be the sole benefactor of with TV ratings. Notre Dame not being controlled by the conference is the only reason that they're allowed to stick it to ESPN like this. They don't have any obligations. They don't have any tie-ins. They can do what they want, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it. And that's the beautiful part of being independent. I think if more schools went this way, college football would start to heal itself. Granted, there's only a few schools that can afford to actually do that. The USCs of the world, the Ohio States, the Michigans. Maybe there's a couple arguments for some SEC schools, but this is good for saving the game of college football. Now, the playoff committee, for the most part, I think they got it right. The only team that doesn't really deserve to be in is Alabama. Make a case for all these group of 5 schools that you want, but those are the rules. The top 5 conference champions get a spot. And if we didn't have all of these super conferences that everybody wants Notre Dame to join, we really wouldn't be in this position to begin with. The ACC has 17 teams and a crap tiebreaker rule for who gets to play in the conference championship game. That's why Duke won the ACC. And that's why there's 2 group of 5 schools in the college football playoff. Don't blame those guys for this happening to Notre Dame. The ESPN SEC relationship is the sole reason that this is happening. The little guys just played by the rules and won the prize. This further goes to show that there's no point in those college football playoff shows because all year in the entire length of the ranking shows, ESPN was ranked above Miami. Now, in a head-to-head matchup, if it's 10 versus 11, yeah, Miami deserves to be in because they won the game and there's got to be a point in playing those games. But Alabama being in the playoff over Notre Dame is nonsensical. Alabama, I get it. They went to Georgia, they won by 3 points, but you got dog walked in your conference championship game. You struggled to beat Auburn. You lost to Florida State. You're limping across the finish line right now. You have 3 losses. Why is it that Ohio State drops a spot, Virginia drops, BYU drops, but the SEC championship is the only game where there's no consequences to playing in the game? That makes no sense. ESPN and the College Football Playoff Committee have contradicted themselves over and over and over and over again in this process to try and get a 5th SEC team in. So good on Notre Dame for not giving in to ESPN. Good on Notre Dame for taking their ball and going home because guess what? Their ball is worth about $50 million in TV ratings, and that means something to ESPN. Unfortunately, college football has gotten to a point where the only thing that matters anymore is money. And the only way to solve that problem is to make it hurt in ESPN and Fox's pocketbook. The TV contracts have ruined this sport, and this year's Selection Sunday has changed the college landscape forever. Notre Dame did what they did because they can. Look at Iowa State and Kansas State, both opted out of bowl games, and guess what? The Big 12 fined them $500,000 each. Notre Dame's not worried about having to be fined $500,000 because they're independent and they can do what they want and they're not tied to a TV contract. So all this to say, Notre Dame needs to stay independent at all costs, and hopefully some other schools start to follow them.